What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, please consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on your post notifications so that you guys can stay up to date with my M3 and my 335 and all of the other projects that I have going on this channel. So as you can see, today we're going to be working on my E92 M3. So today we're going to be working on the interior, and I actually purchased a Leatherique treatment kit and we're going to bring this leather back to life. If you guys are not familiar with Leatherique, this is a full-on process. So it does take about 24 hours, maybe even longer, depending on how long you wait and leave it in the sun. But it's a little bit more labor intensive and a little bit more involved than just your normal leather cleaning and reconditioning. This basically is going to pull all of the oils and all the dirt back to the surface of the leather, and we're going to be able to clean all that stuff off, basically preserve your leather for a longer period of time. So this is the kit that I purchased. I actually got this from AutoGeek. As you can see, you don't need to purchase the full kit, but as you can see, it does come with the Pristine Clean Rejuvenator Oil. It does also have a hand brush, microfiber towels, and microfiber applicator pads. They do make different sizes of this. So again, from AutoGeek, this was $69.99 plus tax. And here are all the products that we have in here. So I think this is a 16-ounce bottle. So is this, but they do make larger bottles, but I figured this is gonna be more than enough for what we're doing with my M3. And like I said, it's got, you know, a brush here, microfiber applicator pads, and then a couple microfiber towels. Okay, so as I mentioned before, the Leatherique treatment kit actually is a little bit more labor intensive than your typical, you know, leather cleaner and leather conditioner. This does take about 24 hours to do, mostly because you want to bake it in the sun and let all the oils come to the surface. But the kit does come with some instructions here. So there are 3 steps. Step 1 is to vacuum out your car, get all the large dirt and dust particles out of there as much as you possibly can. I will probably also go back and hit it all with a microfiber towel, but my leather is in pretty good condition. It does only have 26,000 miles on it, so I'm not expecting, you know, a huge drastic difference by the time we're done with this, but it will be peace of mind knowing that the leather will be back into pristine condition. So after vacuuming and all that stuff, what we're going to do is we're actually going to apply the Rejuvenator oil. So contrary to what you would think, since this is called Pristine Clean, we're actually going to be using the rejuvenating oil first. The instructions actually say to use about 4 ounces per seat, so that's a full 16-ounce bottle, but like I said, the leather's in pretty good condition, so I don't think we're going to be using quite as much. So what we're going to do is apply a liberal amount of this. I am going to use my hands, so you need some gloves for this process as well. Basically, what we're going to do is use my hands as well as one of these microfiber applicator pads, and we're just going to massage it into the seat. And basically what that's going to do is, over about a 24-hour time period out in the sun, it's going to pull all of the dirt and all the oils and all the salt from your body and all that stuff out of the leather. So after applying the rejuvenating oil, we will pull the car out and leave it outside for 24 hours, and then we'll move on to step 3. So at that point, what we're going to do is use the Pristine Clean, and what we're going to do is apply a liberal amount of this as well onto an applicator pad. We're going to wipe it all into the seats and all into the leather, massage it all in, and come back with some warm water and one of these pads, and we're going to wipe down all of the dirt and all that stuff. So after that, we will go back and hit it with some microfiber towels just to polish it all off, and we should be good to go. Additionally, the kit does come with a brush, so if your leather is in really dirty condition, then we can go ahead and use this, but I don't anticipate to use this, so kind of don't need this in my case, but it's always good to have little interior brushes laying around. But so yeah, pretty labor intensive process. Your hands will probably be tired, and it is really hot out here, so you will be sweating. But at the end of all of this, I think it's going to be a nice peace of mind knowing that my leather is back into pristine condition. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm going to show you guys what the current condition looks like. Again, it might not look like a huge difference by the time we're done with this, but that's because my leather is currently in pretty good shape. But there are some things, you know, there are some areas that are a little bit more greasy and shiny compared to what it should be, which is a matte finish. All right, so here's the current condition of the interior. So this is before I've done anything. So I'll do a quick vacuum and quick little wipe down, get all the dust and dirt off. So this is the driver's side. As you can see, it does have a little bit of wear here on the bolster, which for having 26,000 miles, a lot of this was from, I guess, the previous owner. So this portion we're not going to really be able to fix. It does need to be re-dyed right here along the stitching here, but if you look closely, you can see, you know, a little bit of wear right here as well, but same with right here in the middle. Overall pretty decent, but so hopefully some of these cracks and creases will kind of dissipate after we do this, but for the most part it's in pretty decent condition. It's not too greasy, but we're gonna go ahead and get in all the little nooks and crannies. And then over here on the door, I'm actually gonna do these door panels as well because there is leather right here in the middle, and this part here is also leather, so I'm gonna go ahead and touch all of that up as well. The steering wheel is also a little bit greasy and a little bit shiny, so I'm probably going to hit that as well as the shift knob there because that is extremely greasy looking and very shiny. So you want your leather to look like a matte finish, and I think this will be a big difference as well because obviously your elbows are on here, so that'll be a nice big difference. The back is super clean, so this is almost never sat in. I think I've only had maybe like 1 or 2 people in here, a small handful of times, but super clean back here, so that will look pretty good. And I'll show you the passenger side. Passenger side here also looks pretty decent, so again we'll do the door panel, and passenger seat doesn't look horrible either. But the good thing also is that this whole Leatherique treatment will actually make the leather a lot softer and will hopefully preserve it a little bit longer. All right, so another little trick here from my buddy Brandon. If you use some plastic wrap, some saran wrap, we're gonna use this actually on the seat belts in the back because I don't wanna get any of this stuff, any of this product on my nice blue seat belts, as you can see back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap all the seat belts and we can get started. All right, so as you can see, I've put some plastic wrap there on the seat belt there and one over here on the driver's side. So I didn't bother doing the fronts because those really aren't in my way and they're not touching any of the leather, so I didn't think it was necessary to wrap those. Okay, so we're all ready to go. I've got everything all dusted and cleaned and ready for us to go ahead and start this whole process. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna go ahead and do the back, and then I'm gonna move up to the front passenger side and then do this door panel, and then I'm actually gonna pull the car out because once I do all this stuff, I don't wanna have to move the car. So after I do all that, I'll move the car outside, park it out there, and then I'll do the driver's side and finish it up for the day. All right, so here's a little progress report. So as you can see, I've done the leather on the door panel there. I've done the driver's side, looks very wet. I also did the back. I spent a little bit more time doing the front just because this gets a lot more use than the back, so I used a little bit more of the oil up here than I did the back seats. But as you can see, it's got this little glossy finish, looks kind of wet, and eventually it'll turn a little bit tacky and greasy. So went ahead and did that. All right, so I figured I'd try to show you guys some of the process. The driver's side. So I am using the sponge, but I'm actually finding it to be a little bit easier and a little bit better for me to use just my glove and hands because I can kind of get a better feel of where things are. So I'm just gonna pour a little bit in my hand like that. I'm just gonna wipe it in, massage it into the leather. And again, I'm gonna go a little heavier on the driver's seat because again, this is the seat that gets the most action. And then don't be afraid to get a little bit on the plastics because you can always come back with a microfiber and wipe that stuff off. So again, this is just going to bring all of the dirt and oils and salt from your skin, from your pores, and bring all that stuff to the surface. Make sure to do your headrests too. Obviously, it's probably pretty greasy right here. I don't think I'm going to use nearly as much as they advise you to use because, again, my leather's in pretty good condition, so that's pretty good. And I've positioned my car here. It's not totally in the sun yet, but it'll eventually be more in the sun as the day progresses. so it'll sit out here at least in the heat as well. Alright, it's pretty bright out here, so hopefully you guys can see the progress. So went ahead and did this door panel, did the driver's seat. It is already starting to get a little bit tacky, which is what you want it to do. So as you can see, it looks really greasy, really wet. I did the steering wheel, did the shift knob there. I didn't do the e-brake boot or any of that because that is new leather. Actually, I will probably do the actual handle, but so I'm gonna go by and touch up any little things, and we'll come back to you after 24 hours. Alright guys, so that wraps up step 1 and step 2. We're gonna come back to you about 24 hours after this has been baking in the sun. As you can see, it's just out there. So what's gonna be about 24 hours for me is gonna be a matter of seconds for you. We'll see you in a minute. Alright guys, welcome back. We are about 28 hours or so into this now. So I figured I'd show you guys what the current situation looks like before we go ahead and work on stage 3 of the Leatherique process. Okay, so as you guys can see, everything's still very, very greasy looking, which hopefully means that all of the dirt and oils and all that stuff were brought to the surface, but if you touch it, it's kind of got a tacky feeling to it, and it's also kind of greasy to the touch. So we're going to move on here with stage 3 of the process. Looking at it now, I probably could have done a little bit more than I did. Like I said, the bottle does say to do about 4 ounces per seat, but again, since my leather was in really good condition, I didn't feel the need to use a ton. I obviously used more here in the passenger seat and the driver, as well as the steering wheel. My shift knob is super glossy looking, so the rear I didn't do a ton on, same with the door panels, but let's see what we got when we go ahead and pull all this off, and hopefully we have a nice soft leather and a nice finish. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and start here on the passenger side door panel. As you can see, I've got our pristine clean, and if you notice, the color is a little bit different, so I would recommend shaking this up pretty well before you use it. Additionally, I've got a new microfiber pad and then a clean, brand new microfiber towel. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a lot of this pristine clean and the microfiber pad here. I'm going to put a lot on, and we're going to wipe it into the leather, massage it in, and then I'm going to go back and kind of dunk the microfiber into our warm water here and kind of get all this stuff off of here, get all the dirt and all that grease off. After that, I'll go back with my microfiber towel and buff it all off. Alright guys, so unfortunately it started to rain a little bit, and as you guys probably know, this is a car that does not see rain. So I went ahead and pulled it in the garage, and I finished off the driver's seat just so I could pull it in here. So that is the outcome, and so far I am extremely pleased with the way this looks. It just feels smoother, softer, and it's got that nice original OEM matte finish to it. So far it's turning out great, and so far, like I said, I've only done the driver's seat. I did that panel, door panel over there, and I did the driver's panel here, and just look at how dirty my water already is. So that just gives you an idea of what kind of filth we were living in here. So it's going to only get worse with the steering wheel and the shifter there, I'm sure. Same with the armrest. So I'll come back to you in a minute. Oh wow guys, this looks freaking insane. I should have done this a long time ago. I don't know if you guys saw how much dirt came off the steering wheel, but now it's back to nice, pristine, matte finish. Got rid of all the gloss. Driver's seat looks fantastic. And so once again, the process is pretty simple. So here's my dirty water, but you want to get yourself some warm water. And then I went ahead and used my sponge. I put a lot of pristine clean onto my sponge, wiped it all in, got all the dirt off, and periodically dunked it back into the water, squeezed all the water out, and did a little bit more pristine clean, did it again. Did that a couple times, and then at the very end, I rinsed it all out here and used just the sponge with some water and kind of leveled everything out, and then I went back and dried everything off with my microfiber towel. So now we have this nice, finished, clean looking matte finished leather. Looks amazing. Alright guys, so I'm starting here on the passenger side. As you can see, I've already done the top part. And you can just tell the difference between the top, very matte finish, versus the bottom, which I still have not done yet. Still greasy, tacky. It just looks so clean, so nice. I mean, you can just see how smooth the leather looks. I love this finish. So far, I'm really pleased with the way this is turning out. Alright guys, so hopefully that gives you an idea of how this process works. I'm going to go ahead and do the back just because the process is the same, but so far, really liking it. I will say, I would suggest dumping out your bucket and getting fresh water. So I did my front seat and the 2 door panels, and then I got fresh water, and then I did the passenger seat, and then the shift knob and the e-brake boot. And so after that, I'm gonna go get more water and do the rear. So the rear shouldn't be too bad, but just so you have an idea. This is my second bucket of water, and you can just tell how dirty it is. So all of that came off the seats. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally finished. As you can see, I am totally drenched. This is quite a process. Obviously it's really hot out here, but regardless of that, it is pretty labor intensive, so just keep that in mind. But overall, the whole process was pretty simple, straightforward, nothing too crazy. It is just, very time consuming. And just a few pro tips for you guys. Empty your bucket a couple times. I think it's just necessary to do because if you look and see, this was all from just the back alone. So I did a total of 3 buckets with warm water in it, and I think that was a smart decision. Additionally, I also used 2 microfiber pads. I did one for the front and one for the rear, basically. Additionally, it would be smart if you had a few microfiber towels on hand. I actually just used one to put underneath my other hand that I wasn't using, just to kind of hold myself up and not get, gross fingerprints and my sweat all over the brand new leather that we have. So extra microfiber is a must. Other than that, I really enjoy the process. I think this is definitely the way to go if you are trying to rejuvenate your leather and bring it all back to life. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys some beauty shots, but if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns about anything that we've done today, please let me know in the comments below. And do not forget to subscribe and turn on your post notifications so that you guys can follow along on our journey with all the BMWs. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Thanks for watching.